Hey everybody, welcome back to Stratego Freaks for another exciting video. Today we're going to be reviewing the King of Strategus match between Frosty and Winner. Frosty defeated Nemesis for the crown a few days ago in a really exciting match. If you haven't seen that, please head on over to Stratego Freaks and give it a view because it's a pretty good game. Comes down to the end and really fun to watch. So the first challenger is Winner. He challenged Frosty right out of the gate there, and this is their match, and it's pretty good. And once again, it comes down to a pivotal endgame, and it was very entertaining. Some educational moments in there. So once again, I'm letting beginner player or intermediate players know to watch these high level matches so you can pick up some of the tips and tricks exhibited by these two top players. Winner is currently the #1 player on Strategus. His ELO, as you can see here, is mid 800s. And Frosty is working his way up the charts, and he's a perennial top 20, top 10 player, and on any given day can beat anybody in the world. So let's get underway and see what takes place here. Once again, a real good match, and it was fun to watch. So I'm happy to be able to review this game and kind of give you an analysis breakdown. I'm sure there's going to be things that I miss. I'm an average player, and do miss some of the finer details. So feel free to mention in the comments if you see something that is important or brings value to the video. All right, some exchanges, no real information being given here. Both players, great information guys. They like to discover pieces and then formulate their plan based off of the information that they have, which is pretty much textbook Stratego. Both very gifted at that type of mindset, but both players not afraid to take risks either. They will blind hit pieces and try to progress the game. But a very even match. These two guys exchanged wins quite a bit. Yeah, I foresee these two guys locking up for many years to come, and they're just going to get better with time as well. Both pretty young guys, I believe. Lots of probing and scouting, just trying to figure out the lay of the land here. I've watched, both of these guys have channels as well on YouTube. So if you're interested in seeing some more of their matches, I recommend heading over to Frosty. If you just do a search for Frosty Stratego, it'll come up, and the same with Winner. A couple things I'm going to point out right here. If you're a beginner, notice these, if you follow my cursor right now, going across the board, it's good to open up these lanes. You do have to move pieces. So, you're trying to generally keep your back 2 rows unmoved and only move when you have to, just to kind of keep the bombs and the layout a secret. But you do want to open up these files so a piece can transfer to either defend or attack quickly. And you'll notice that these good players open up these files to create lanes. All right, Winner coming in pretty hot there, looking to grab a couple pieces and get some info. Now that's a pivotal bomb find, as you'll see later in the game. So Winner not afraid to sacrifice. So let's say he hits and he picks up a piece. Great. He's probably just going to keep on taking to pick up what he can and get information. But finding that bomb, that could be a potential flag location. So I don't think Winner was the least bit concerned about losing the major there. Okay, so there's your kernel, first major piece found. Once again, more probing, and both players, it's too early to determine where a flag location would be, but once again, that early bomb find could signify a corner flag. Okay, major discovered. Yeah, I've seen both of these players exhibit different styles of play from game to game. Sometimes hyper aggressive, sometimes patient, sometimes in between. And I recommend doing that as you know, if you're a beginner, you cannot fall into the same style of play, because then you just become predictable. Your setups are easily read, so you need to switch it up every game. Winner trying to pinch off a piece over there on the right side of the board. And exchange of majors. If we're looking at the board right now, Frosty's down a captain, a 6, and a 7, but does have the 2 scouts. Now, once again, I'm going to point out this lane here. He's moved a bunch of pieces, but he's able to transfer and shuffle pieces around at will by that, so that's important. I'm going to reiterate that again to our beginners out there. Okay, so there's the Marshall. Pretty big find. Another exchange. Piece gets pushed. And there's the Colonel. Yeah, I kind of lost track of if that was the Colonel that was previously. Not. I don't think so, though. All right, so there's that exchange. Winner with the captain and 7 advantage there. Minor off the board, and we all know that picking up minors is always a good feeling. If you're a beginner, the importance of minors becomes more prevalent at the end game, and you're going to need, to have some. All right, so there's the Gen making an appearance. Okay, so both players have a centralized couple of big pieces there. Very little information as to where the flags would be. The only telltale would be that one bomb that was discovered earlier. But if we're looking at the board right now, there's several tripod locations for both players and potentially 2 corner flags over here for winner. And let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 potential flag locations still, meaning they could be there and bombed in, and that's what I mean by that. On the opposite side, Frosty could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I believe, possible bombed in flag locations. You're always trying to decipher where that flag is. Good players are well versed in keeping that information hidden. It's hard to get a read, and that's kind of what you want. Frosty picking up another piece. Winner did not necessarily like that piece down there, wanted to see what it was, and it loses the 7. Right now the value of these pieces, regardless of what rank it is, it's just important to have material. Ideally, what you want is information and material, if you can accomplish that. Okay, so Frosty down the 6 and the captain. Even on captains now. And just a reminder out there, if you guys want to have some of your games live streamed, feel free to reach out to me on Strategus or one of the Discords. If you have a challenge match you'd like to play against somebody, please let me know. And if I can, if it's convenient, I'll do a live stream of the match, or hopefully record it and do an overview just like we're seeing here today. Both players kind of cinching up their belts right now and looking for the best way to progress. Time differential, just a couple minutes there. No real big advantage at this point in the game. I lost a game the other day due to time. I had my volume turned down, and I was just kind of distracted, and the clock ran out on me in a fairly winnable position, so that kind of sucked. All right, so all scouts off the board. If we're looking at the graveyard, Frosty down the 6 and the minor, but up to 7. Okay, Frosty coming in. Now the framework of the setups are becoming a little bit more detailed at this point. So some of those locations that were there earlier on Frosty's side have dwindled down a little bit. Winner taking his time here. And Winner is a fairly fast player, but when he does take time, he's basically calculating and just trying to make an informed decision. I find myself getting in time trouble quite a bit, and then it's totally unnecessary. I'll space out on a move I don't need to, and even if it means shuffling until you figure things out, that's better than just letting 3 minutes run off your clock before you make a move. If you have an interest in playing in the King of Strategus, please reach out to Maelstrom on one of the Discords. You could probably reach out to him on Strategus as well. Just send him a message, and he'll put you on the register of players and get you on there. And this is a fun tournament. The crown is supposed to exchange hands often. And I think there's actually, if you defend it 10 times, there's like $100 prize pool, I believe. So that's not bad, right? Now, winning 10 games in a row is going to be extremely challenging, but totally doable. And I'd like to see that happen sometime. That would be fun. And yes, a shout out to Maelstrom for really organizing this, and the developers of Strategus for supporting this format and promoting it. Really appreciate it, guys. All right, some tension on this right side of the board. It's fun to see pieces stack up, and there we go. Discovery piece and another miner gone. So as it stands right now, I believe there's only been one bomb discovered, and it was on this side over here. Okay, little buried kernel action. And that kernel is gobbled up, so winner loses the big piece. That's pretty pivotal right now. That's a pretty good discovery by Frosty there. Yeah, I'm sorry about not releasing this earlier, but I did have a couple technical difficulties with my computer yesterday, so I had to delay the release. So my apologies on that. Okay, all majors off the board. So the framework, the foundation of both sides becoming a little bit more prevalent. Frosty down those miners. It's always challenging in the end game there when you're down to one miner or so. Got to be so careful. Winner piled up some pieces in the center here and rotating one over to the left side. Still plenty of time for both guys. Frosty with the slight advantage. Frosty trying to grind some more pieces out here, and as you can see by the boneyard, winner's down all of his sevens. Takes away the spy. And the winner's looking to possibly commit to this left side attack. Being down that kernel and the 2 sevens at this stage, pretty tough position. And you do have to make a decision. If you just let your pieces get grinded out and you're behind in material, it'll be too late to get there. So at some point in the game, if you have a feeling and a way to get down, you do it. And you live with those consequences, what right or wrong. It's better to actually go for it than to do nothing and just kind of die with a whimper. You need to go for that flag. And and in this format, if both players draw, they both lose, which I like because it really forces the players to go for stuff. Sometimes a draw is the right decision, but we don't want to see that in these high-level matches. We want guys to go for it. It's just fun, and it sucks. You have a drawed position, but this isn't that game. This isn't a tournament. This is a who is the king, and the king has to fight. Okay, so now that getting that kernel back, pretty important, right? That might have been a little bit of gamesmanship. I'll have to ask Frosty that. I'm wondering if he purposely sacked the kernel in order to portray weakness, like he was trying to stop something coming down to that corner. But these are the things that a high level player will do. Sometimes they'll completely fool you and redirect your attack because they're telling the story that they want you to believe. Now Frosty taking his time. An exchange. But now, if things are, if Winner's starting to feel a little desperation due to the fact that he is down those sevens, he's got to make a go. And if he has this side pinched off and can run a minor down, that would be, if the flag happened to be in the corner, it would be almost unstoppable. The exchange. Winner pushing in, looking to see if this is a corner, if that's a bomb. Now this looks like a bombed in flag, so he's going. He gets the minor down, opens it up, basing, trying to get there, and it wasn't the flag, a bombed in 7. Letting him get there to get rid. So now he eliminates the general, takes a minor, and being down the 2 sevens, this is pretty much unsurmountable, and I think Frosty knows that right now, and so does Winner. Really no way to progress the game here. It's just a matter of time, and he's just going to pinch that off. All the lanes are blocked now. Big piece on the board. Frosty has enough minors left to get into one of these locations. And that is going to do it. And there we go. Guys, what a great game from 2 high-end players there. Winner had to make a decision, and that did seem, when he discovered that other bomb, the 2 bombs, it did look like a corner flag, and I think most of us would have done the same thing to go for that win. But Frosty, allowed that to happen in order to have that sequence play out just the way he needed it to. So that worked out perfectly for Frosty. So congratulations on your first titled events, Frosty. That was a really good match. And I think we can we can all kind of learn something from the game that we just saw here today. Once again, guys, I'll be posting this later today. I got to do a couple little edits on it, and I'll get it up, and hopefully you guys can enjoy this match. Anyways, guys, tune back in soon. We're going to be doing more coverage of the King of Strategus, and if anybody would like a challenge match, whether it's against me or Nemesis, and would like it shown, we will definitely live stream and or record it and do an analysis after the fact. Anyways, gotta go. Have a great day. Good luck on Strategus today. I'll see you there, and I hope to beat you too. Bye now.